Fallout New Vegas has to be definitely one of the best video games I've ever played in my life. But if you're wondering, is it still playable in 2024? We stopped at the right spot because we're going to go over it. So basically, you're a courier who's captured by this individual, and this individual wants to end you. So he tries and fails at his attempt as you wake up inside of a doctor's office in a town called Good Springs. Upon arriving, well, I say arriving, upon leaving the doctor's office in Good Springs, you set out on a quest to find the man who tried to end you and figure out exactly what you was carrying, even though you was a courier and had no idea what was going on. Why this guy would end you, we have no idea, but we're going to find out. So upon our travels, we come upon several different towns, and you have multiple quests within these towns, depending on what you want to do, what you don't want to do. But either way, there's a bunch of choices that can be made in between these towns, and set the pace on where your karma level is going to be. Whether you're this good guy, bad guy, this not, in between, who knows kind of guy. But that's basically where it's set up. After you travel through these several towns and you end up in Vegas, you're kind of in awe, or I was at the game. All these lights and things going on, and just having no idea. Like, hey, should I just go ahead and go here, or do I want to stop here, or what you want to do? And then, depending on what you decide to do, you can head on over to where the individual is that ended up trying to shoot you, and confront him. And based on the type of player you are and what you want to do, you can decide to either just cause chaos or speak to the man. It's all up to you. Once it's finished with whatever you decide to do upon arriving and speaking to the individual that tried to end you, you have three factions to choose from. You can choose from, well, I say three. You have four factions: Mr. House, you have Yes Man, and you have the NCR, and you have the Legion. And based on who you choose from and the actions you take from there depends on the ending. So that's all that I'm going to say about the main story. Besides, do not complete the very end quest, which is the battle at Hoover Dam, until you are done playing the game, because this does not have the Fallout 3 DLC where at the end you come back as the courier and see how the world's changed your actions. So just be aware of that. With that being said, let's talk about the DLCs. You have one called the Honest Hearts. Honest Hearts is a DLC where the courier comes to this caravan company and is offering to help deliver these goods to the people of New Canaan. Upon arrival, courier's ambushed, and so is the caravan. Some things happen, and you meet some people, and the only way to get out of there is by helping them help them with what's going on in the region to help settle things. And depending on what you choose, turns the life of these travels either upside down or the way that you think it should be, or so on and so forth. After Honest Hearts, you have another one called World Blues, which is you get this radio transmission and you go to the transmitter and it's in the middle of a drive in. You activate it and you wake up in a place called the Big Empty in front of these things. That's all I'm going to say about that, anyways, as far as what they are, and you'll figure it out once you get there. But either way, you wake up in front of these things, and they set you out on a quest to. You basically got to help them to get out of the area and to find some things that you lost, not to your fault, but either way. As that concludes, you have another DLC called the Sierra Madre Grand Opening, also known as Dead Money. And this is a completely different spinoff from Fallout that I'm sure that you're used to if you're into Fallout titles, but it's kind of like a horror, mystery. Uh, I don't want to say crime. It's not necessarily a crime filled thing. There's a lot of teamwork that goes into it with some individuals that don't like teamwork. We'll just say that, and it's a wonderful experience that you need to experience at least once if you haven't played the DLCs. The last and final DLC I want to talk about is one called The Lonesome Road. Lonesome Road is a story between two couriers, yourself and another courier that you do not know. And he's trying to explain why he's doing what he's doing. And towards the end of it, either way, you got to make a choice that can change the fate of the Mojave as we know it forever, or change the divide. So it's definitely one you need to pay attention to and take your time with, and just make the choice based on the character you build. Now let's talk about playability. Playability based on not today's standards, as far as we know this game's not an Unreal Engine 5. Okay, I'm playing on PC. This is just the base game, no mods. This is exactly how it looks if you download it off Steam and you go to playing it. Okay. With that being said, I do want to say that it does take a little bit of time to get used to as far as the graphics, but it's nothing horrible. It's not like going from a PS5 to a PS1 or so on and so forth. The graphics are very, very manageable. The gameplay mechanics, as far as weapons and stuff like that, it is a little bit clunky and it takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's nothing horrible. Okay, this is kind of that in between of Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, Bethesda Obsidian, trying to find that perfect line in between a first person looter shooter like Fallout New Vegas. So just be aware of that. It does take a little bit of time with the gameplay, but it's nothing horrible. The games or the guns are not real sleek. As you see when I aim down sights, it's really hard to see, but you can kind of, make up for that with certain attachments, and that's one thing that the game brings to it that no other Fallout title that I'm aware of had was, attachments to your weapons and mods and stuff like that. So just be aware. But on a scale 0 to 10, based on this game, as far as a single player game, not basing it off of new player mechanics as far as, graphics and all that stuff, because obviously this is an older title, but from single player playability from 0 to 10, I gotta rate this game a 10. Simply because the story, the NPCs you meet, everything about this game feels like a great single player experience that keeps you sucked in the whole time, where you just don't want to quit playing the game. It is so much fun to live as this courier that's going through the Mojave and trying to change everything or make everything better or make everything worse or shape it however he wants it to be. Now let's talk about the big thing, price. Okay, so this is an older game, and this is the only reason I'm giving it the price tag it is. Now, with it being an older game, I would not pay more than $25 for this game whatsoever, just because it's an older game and it still has a lot of bugs. There's certain times where you try to load in your game, it just goes to a never endless loading screen.
No! No!
If this happens to you, start a new game, and then once you get in the new game and you wake up in the doc's office, hit load and then load in your save, okay? But make sure to save a lot. This is a Bethesda title. There is a couple game crashes that's going to happen. But I will say it's not near as bad as it was on PlayStation, because on PC, my game probably crashed maybe twice. But the never endless loading screen, that happened several times, so just be aware of that. So either way, guys, I hope you like the video. If you like content like this, make sure to like, follow, share. I mean, I'm always putting out new content, whether it's old video games, new video games. It doesn't really matter. If it's got something to do with the gaming community, then I'm going to have it out there. Either way, I appreciate it, guys, and I'll see you next time.